Goche. We are here again.
Again, live and direct.
Live and direct, brother.
Me and my brother.
My brother.
Share the conversation.
You know it.
You dig.
You know it.
Come on, man.
Keep Markane.
Hey.
The real Sam Goodie.
You know.
All of the above.
All of that.
Call us anything but broken.
Come on. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Call us anything but broken.
But broken.
I like that.
How are you, dog?
Dog, you know, I'm good. Are we turning this music down?
Yeah, we can turn it down. We can turn it down. We can stop it actually if you want to. Dog.
Yeah. I'm good, man. 2023. You feel me? Just a lot of reflection, as I always do anyway.
Okay.
But like coming into a new year, though, I don't do as much added pressure as the average person.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
To have these different things set up or whatever the case may be. I just kind of let things go with the flow for real.
Okay.
And but the past few years, I've been paying attention to what each year has been teaching me.
Perfect. Yeah.
2019 is when I started. 2019 is what taught me that, you can't expect yourself from other people. You feel me?
Boy, you be blowing my mind. I was just talking about this shit earlier.
Bro,
keep going, dog.
Can't expect you from other folks. Like, no matter what you do, you can't expect another person to reciprocate the same things that you would do for them, from them to you.
Absolutely. 2020
taught me to be still, like most people, and like face the music through the pandemic, right?
Okay.
2021 kind of taught me that I have narcissistic characteristics.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest,
I was
dog.
very self-centered in some ways.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And for me to actually be aware enough to acknowledge and work on repairing that was a lot, right?
Okay.
2022 taught me to care less, share less.
Okay.
Now, this is a big one.
Go ahead.
Because, it's been very popular for people to say men need to express themselves more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tested that theory. You dig what I'm saying? And quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to hear truly what men actually go through. 80% of them don't care.
Yeah.
The other 20% happy that it's you.
Yeah. Oh.
You dig what I'm saying?
I think that percentage is a little bit more higher, but we'll keep it at 20.
Just to put the numbers in
Absolutely,
there.
yes.
Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But, it's a high percentage of those who's happy that it's you, and a high percentage of those who really do not care.
Yeah.
They see men in a certain light, and they want to keep men in that certain light.
Yeah.
Not understanding that we men have emotions and feelings just like every other person,
Absolutely.
every other race of person on the planet. You dig what I'm saying? And I say it taught me to care less and share less because honestly, in 2022, I shared a lot and I cared a lot, right? Kendrick Lamar, Apple did the replay, right? On your favorite albums, favorite songs and all that.
We discussed the other day.
You know what I'm saying?
I still don't know how to do that shit.
Yo, Kendrick Lamar's album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Okay.
I played that album over 700 times according to Apple.
Damn. Nigga, when did it come out?
It came out in June of last year.
So you just
literally listen to that album every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs off of the album is Don't Count Me Out.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, well, Count Me Out is the name of the record. He said, I love when they count me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was the second verse where he was like, I care too much when I share too much in my head too much. I shut down too. I ain't there too much.
Ooh.
I'm a complex soul. They layered me up, then broke me down. In my realities thus, I lack in trust. This time around, I trust myself. Please everybody else but myself. All else fails, I was myself. Bro, by
Break
far.
it down. Break it down.
Come on, man.
Yeah, because that was a lot.
Because even even with me learning to care less and share less, and although I cared a lot and shared a lot in 2022,
Yeah.
that record is like that particular part where he says, all else fails, I was myself.
Okay.
I was still myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just extended a lot more of myself, possibly in situations I shouldn't have.
Okay.
But then again, right, if I never had that opportunity to care and share as much as I did, I wouldn't have learned the lessons
Absolutely.
needed to be
Absolutely.
learned.
Yes.
So it's always like a walking on eggshell
You had to
kind
take
of
the
thing.
class.
I had to take the
of
class.
life.
I had to take the class of life.
Yep.
Beautifully put.
Yep.
So
How did you know that, well, where do you feel that caring for others came from?
I think that's a good question. I think me caring for others came from my grandmother, and not necessarily from her,
Okay.
but I saw how many people actually cared for her.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay,
So I'm like, this is important.
Yeah.
And then like I've also learned how to care for people through my mom as well. So my grandmother and my mother, I would give that to.
Right. So that was already rooted in you.
Absolutely. It's part of that DNA.
Can
you
you
know what I
recall?
mean?
Can you recall a time, if you have to, whether it's current or back in the day, where you cared and it was like, I know I'm doing too much, but I just can't help it because it's who I am.
Who I am. That's damn.
I'm learning how to share a conversation,
Facts.
but also from a host standpoint, because you know me, you can talk.
For sure.
Yeah, but I like the work that you've done.
Thank you.
So
brother.
I want to make sure I ask questions so that our people can get a little bit of you.
For sure. I think that if I cared too much, I learned that too in dating.
Okay.
And I try to stay away from dating, but it's just like it's so
yeah,
hard.
Right, nigga. Yeah, right.
It's so hard not
men,
to.
Dog. We young men, dog.
We are. It's hard. It's hard not to
yeah.
include dating in your conversation.
You just named two important women in your life, so therefore you want to express that
For
love
sure.
to a woman. So it's
For
going to be
sure.
hard. Yeah,
it's
gonna
tough,
be hard.
but it's like you express yourself. And it's like women would say that they want a brother to express themselves and all of that. And then once they do that,
Yeah,
it's they something snaps in their mind and they see you differently.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like currently I'm reading The Will to Change by Bell Hooks.
Mm-hmm.
And that book is about teaching men the practice of love and how to practice love and how to denounce patriarchy.
Okay.
Right? Because patriarchy has been the very thing to demolish and diminish love and relationships and families and marriages, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm only in chapter 2, but in reading that first chapter, Bell Hooks talked about her partner of 12 years. And she said that she wanted a guy to express himself and all of these things. I'm not gonna judge you, whatever the case.
Yeah.
And once
Tell me
the
all
brother,
your problems.
you dig what I'm saying?
So I can judge you.
once the brother shared a more vulnerable part of himself to Miss Hooks,
Yeah.
she did unintentionally, as it was written, she unintentionally shifted her mindset and how she viewed this brother.
Oh wow! Based off the information that he shared.
Based off the information that he shared.
Mm.
So it's like, I mentioned before, it's just about going numb and kind of like, with the work that I do too, where brother helps brother.
Absolutely.
I am more so creating that space now so that brothers can be vulnerable with one another versus, because who ain't nobody in their right mind telling their partner everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like in those vulnerable moments, of course, you may share some moments, right? But when it gets to the real deep stuff, I think it's more so important for brothers to have that space to share that with other brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am with brother helps brother. Because women will look at you. I remember the first time I actually cried in front of a woman.
Oh.
And it was one of my exes.
Compare it to the time you first cried in front of your mama. versus the woman, because the reason I wanted to exercise it this way.
Yo,
I don't want you
nah,
to
nah, nah. I want you to finish your
the
thought.
reason I want you to exercise it this way is because we are taught those ways, and our parents from that space understand the safe space that we have. Get it out. What's wrong? Someone else be like, you're weak, because that doesn't say much about the one that's crying. Mm-hmm. It really says something about the one that's reacting to the reason they're crying.
Ooh, when you ask that question, the first time I can remember vividly crying in front of my mother,
okay,
I was probably like 7, 8. Young cat. We walking up the street in our neighborhood, and we joking, we talking, we laughing. She messed around and called me ugly, bro.
Tell my mama.
Mom's called me ugly, yo.
Oh, mom.
And I started bawling. I'm like, why you call me ugly? I ain't ugly, so she brushed it out like, boy, I'm just, and I knew she was joking.
Absolutely.
But it has also been scientifically proven, though, that certain words to a kid at a certain age, even if it is joking, can be taken seriously.
I got you. Yeah.
And I knew that she was joking, but I took that seriously.
Mama hit her with the humble punch.
Yeah, with the humble punch. Say ugly, you know. Saw that brushed me off like, boy, you know I'm playing with you. Go ahead on, man. And we just kept walking. I dried my face, and that was it.
And that way, instantly you knew that she was playing. But the fact that she broke it down at that time, like, boy, I'm just playing, right? She's still in real time. Comforted you, or be like, I was just joking.
I wouldn't say it was a comfort. I would more so say it was a get over that shit.
That's a great way to look at it too.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Get over that. People gonna say certain things to you, and you gotta let it hurt, but get over that shit immediately.
So the let it hurt came from my mother.
Got it.
The first time I cried in front of a woman, one of my exes, this was at a point where I was very unsure as to what I wanted to do with my life. I'm 25 at this point, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Right? And this young lady, she got it going on. You know what I mean? And I had a decent job. Like, I had a government gig. I was making some nice bread.
Got you.
But I wasn't fulfilled. So it's like, man, I'm trying to figure out what the hell do I want to do with my life for real. And then also, I read quite a bit. And I read this article talking about a quarter life crisis. So those millennials in the 25-year age range, they going through it, stressing out. Because they're like, man, what's going on? Like, what am I doing with myself?
You see the comparison, right?
I did.
Got it. Go ahead.
So, like, I cried in front of her, and like, I'm on the couch like this here, and she's in front of me, and I'm just wrapped around her, and I'm bawling, and I'm crying in her bosom. You know what I mean? And I can tell that she was shell shocked. I did not feel judgment from her though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like Job and his friends. When Job lost everything and the friends were there, and they like, and I think I'm saying this right. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But I think
y'all know what we're doing.
You feel me? But you know, it was more so the presence of the friends versus what they could actually do for Job.
Absolutely. It was the presence of them being there.
It was the presence of her allowing me to release onto her without her necessarily wanting to do anything or know what to do in that moment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the two disparities, but those are the two vivid moments that I remember.
Okay.
From my mother, and then the first time I cried in front of a young lady for real.
Okay.
It hit different.
Yeah, it hit different. But as we discuss, certain people don't know how to actually when we're not able to express ourselves when we're in the company of certain people, it can take us back a little bit to keep us from sharing conversations. And that's why, again, you created your nonprofit, Brothers Help Brothers, so we can at least practice and learn to articulate, and we can even have the intuition on, I can tell when somebody is genuinely caring for us. Read the room. But also, what kind of work have you done in between mom time and that time, and even now currently, on knowing yourself better to where even, will you cry now in front of her, or any one of you felt it?
Absolutely.
Why?
No shame.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, a cry is a release of stress, anxiety,
Absolutely.
worry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm prideful, but I'm not that damn prideful. If I need to get it out, bro, I'm going to get it out and not give a damn about what any woman or anybody has to say.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, man.
And it took a while for me to get there. I know women. I mean, of course, we know men that don't want to cry in front of nobody.
Yeah.
Women, all other men, right?
Yeah.
I also know women that will not cry in front of their guy.
Boy.
Will not cry in front of their girl.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, goddamn.
Shame on you.
Like, let the tears flow.
Absolutely.
And release, man, because these emotions and these feelings can cause physical ailments.
That's the bottom line.
Right. I'm not about to make myself sick because I'm holding in
absolutely. Your chest getting all big.
You feel me?
Inflammation and everything, because those tears just water the heart. Those tears just really water the heart. And I think that as people grow, you know what I'm trying to, as we share these conversations, dog, what I really care what happens as we converse like this is we can get to those young men, women too as well, get to this point early in life. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be ashamed to cry. Don't be ashamed to really express yourself. But you're going to have emotions from both sides. Mm-hmm. What you do in that time of when you feeling those things is very important. Yeah. That's why we have to be around. Yeah. That's why we have to eat right. We have to work out because we have to catch those guys, create content, have these conversations. Because I remember my sister called me one time. I was leaving my hometown going somewhere, and she called me. She said, "You need to come back to the house because your nephew just blah, blah, blah. He just punched a hole in the wall." Whatever she said to him, and he did, within 5 seconds, he got so upset, and he punched the wall. I was like, yo, that punching of the wall ain't a bad thing, but it's an expression that he has things that's built up. Absolutely. And certain situations, man, kids do worse things. Facts. And those outcomes are worse than that. When you're not able to really articulate that, man, we have to, as young men, find ways, and even us, to allow them to express themselves. But we have to really be, what am I trying to say? Create the space, but find a way to connect to those kids who are having trouble expressing themselves. And it can't be that my kid ain't doing it now. Eventually. Is going to happen. Yeah. The best way it happen is that we are true with ourselves, and in real time we're expressing ourselves too as well. Absolutely. So, and that's what I care to have in these places here. You're telling me real time stories that happen, and even the work that you're doing afterwards. You stand here today okay with that? Yeah, right? Man, I'm totally okay with that, and I think everybody should not be afraid of themselves and afraid of the work that they have to do on themselves. Don't be afraid of yourself. Yeah, man. Like, that's really scared. All it is. If you think about it, you are really scared to see a healed version of yourself because you're so familiar with pain, bro. Don't be afraid. You're not necessarily in that time, and you're not afraid of those people. You're really afraid of what you haven't visited yet. Because you know how to defend yourself from those people. Absolutely, yes. You can put on that facade. Yeah. You know how to defend yourself. You know how to react in certain situations. Yeah. But you are real life scared of a better version of yourself. A better version. That's just like how people are afraid of success. Yeah. You are afraid of the success of a greater version of yourself. Oh, success phobic is what my buddy called it. Come on, man. Success phobic. A phobia of success. Do you think people, I'll just say people, meaning like the people that you've come into contact with, and I myself, are more afraid of staying the same or becoming someone new? I think people are more afraid of becoming something new. Why? Because, man, the thing is, when people meet you, they're going to automatically keep in mind how they met you and who you were in that moment. Okay. Yeah. So whether if you change or not, they're still going to have that. But at least if you change, you know, they can see like a past version and a current version. Yeah. But their mind is still going to go to that past. And people like the older version of themselves because it's more predictable. Okay. You know what type of time I'm on. you know how what I mean? You know how I'm gonna react. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like
the old adage of folks saying, "Oh man, stay the same, man. I hope you don't never change."
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's stupid.
That's big stupid.
And at first, I thought that was a compliment back in the day.
Yeah.
I thought that was a compliment. Oh man, Kane, you a solid nigga, man. I hope you stay the same, man.
But you know what? From a different perspective, I think what they were more so speaking of was your character.
I agree.
Versus the things that you were doing.
My understanding of that back then versus now, though, and I can get it on how it was said to me.
Okay.
And what you're saying in regards to character.
Yeah.
You know, but even in some of my actions and how I would evaluate myself, it's like, no, I do need to change.
Okay.
At least these certain aspects of myself.
Yes.
Because, you know, this ain't for nobody on the outside. No way.
Absolutely.
This shit is for me.
I
gotta live with me, bro.
Nigga.
That's just like you had Twitch.
Yeah.
You had the young lady, Miss America, I think, who jumped off a building.
Nah, I'm not sure. Yeah, keep going.
This happened last year, man. Smiling, bubbly, Twitch off the Ellen show.
Absolutely.
Celebrated the anniversary days before.
I remember that story.
Shooting himself.
The lady from Southern University.
Correct.
The young lady. Yeah.
You know, it's Robin Williams, bro.
And the list goes on.
Yep. Like people will showcase a form of happiness, man, but deep down they hurting, bro.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of times what they call the dysfunctional or functional depression. That's what that was, functional depression. But a lot of people are out here like depressed for real, undiagnosed, are in deep sadness.
Yeah.
Because they're not dealing with themselves. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid of a better version of themselves. So they rather stay the same and like put on this facade in front of everybody.
That's crazy.
But deep down, like they really want to punch a wall.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. At the end of it, not at the end of it, because I want to still transition to your post that you made earlier, but this gives a lot of context. And I hadn't shared a lot, but through it, I will. At the end of it, I'm going to stick with what you said. Don't be afraid of yourself. However you get to learn yourself, spend as much time there. That's why I am who I am today, because I wasn't afraid to go into solitude and really learn myself. But again, one of the keys for me have been, and speaking with my nephew, them as they grow older, is to take myself. I've been 16 before, 25 before. I won't go no higher than that. But I know what I thought at that time.
Yeah.
So you must know how parents and coaches and teachers must know what kid think at that time. And you have to be able to bring yourself to that level to some extent. To even connect with those kids. Because even in your profession, right? Yep. You know how to communicate with those kids.
Yeah.
Just because you're doing the TikToks and those things doesn't mean that you're on their level, but you're able to get there to be relatable.
I can kneel down. Because a lot of adults try to stand up and talk at and above. I can kneel down and talk to and direct.
See there? See, I used to so when I would go get my son sometimes, every time before he get to the door, I try to get in the door before he get there because I want to make sure I greet him from a kneeling standpoint.
That's dope.
Because when you get to the eye level, he's like, "Oh shit, this time what's up?" But when I'm here, he's reaching up, and I think I've said it before. I only want him to reach up to God, but at the same time, I just want to kind of be down. So that's important for parents. If you're having an issue with kind of communicating with your kids and things like that, or even your kids' friends, I would go to somebody's house and they parents would give me a good word or two.
Yeah.
If they saw I had bad traits. Sometimes you just naturally take those things on. But there's a lot of things that's going on now in the social media world or just in the world, period, where kids, they're just not, they're responsive to things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be far from knowing themselves versus anything. You think we had a struggle. Bro, it's going to be a challenge for them.
It's going to be a challenge, but I also think it'll be easier for them or quicker for them to do a turnaround.
Because
the systems are already in place in terms of technology. It'll then be the want to turn around at that point.
They have the resources.
They have the like. I mean, we've went from books to technology. They got straight technology. They got
straight tech. They can type this in to get the whole encyclopedia.
And you know what? I was watching Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp in the Waka Flocka interview.
I saw your post. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Buddy had mentioned that he was addicted to ecstasy since the age of like 14 to 20 something.
Keep going. I'm just check the camera. Make sure we still rolling. Keep going.
And, you know, with him being addicted to ecstasy, you know, Buddy, Shannon Sharp asked him, did you go to therapy or did you go to rehab or whatever the case, right? And so he was like, no, why would I ask somebody for help that I put myself into? You know what I mean? And he was like, I didn't necessarily want to depend. And this is not the down therapy because I too am looking to get back in therapy myself, but it made a lot of sense what he said. You know what I mean? So he's like, man, why would I look for help outside of myself to pull me out of something that I put myself into? So that just made me think about one, being able to hold themselves accountable.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, like,
go ahead.
You know, when it comes to manhood, you know, we live on these 4 principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, right? Yeah. Manhood can be defined in many ways, depending on the men that you ask.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think all men can agree that what truly defines manhood is responsibility.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Being responsible
for more than yourself.
For more than yourself, being responsible for your actions. You know what I mean? Being responsible for being held accountable. All those things, bro.
Yeah. Keep going. Because I have a response to what you're saying, but OG told me one time, he said, hey, it's easy to take care of yourself. But when you're responsible for taking care of the livelihood for another person, that's the income of man.
Okay.
Yep.
So it went from Sam Clifton to Seth.
Absolutely. Immediately. And even in preparation.
Yeah.
He was still in the womb.
Come on, man.
I knew like
it's something about that.
Because to be transparent, I can survive. I can be in survivor mode and still be comfortable in that space and still travel the world and do whatever I want to do. People made sacrifices for me, right? And when I got on my own, I was able to do it like I wanted to do it. But because of the life that I want my son to live, and then I must be responsible.
Come on, man.
Right? So now in come the now manhood. I think I asked you before, and then I asked my other dog before. I said, gosh, I can't, what is it? Which made you did I say which made you a man, fatherhood or just man? I don't think I asked you because you're not the father yet. But it was a great question because, again, the consistent response was, we are easy to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
When you have to take care and be responsible, you have a nephew. When he's with you, who eats first?
So
it's naturally that we're men that way. But manhood is when you have responsibility because now you have to plan. You have to protect.
Come on.
You have to provide for whomever is in your care.
That's a fact.
That's true manhood, bro.
And let me tell you this. And I thought about it, so I got to say it.
Go ahead.
Even going back to dating and the responsibility of manhood, even within dating.
Okay.
I remember dating this one young lady, and you know, I'm an early bird.
Okay.
I be up 4, 5 in the morning every day, damn near, right?
Yeah.
And we were on a trip, and like I slept by the door, you know, for protection.
Okay.
When you say protection, I thought about that.
Yeah.
And then 2, I'll be the last one to go to sleep, make sure everything was in the house was good.
Yeah.
And I got up in the morning.
Got to check that latch.
I'm checking the latch.
Outside,
all of that.
Up the blinds right quick.
In the morning, I'm setting things up. I know how she gonna move in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know what I
You know
mean?
what? I think those subtle things.
But and I say that because it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this when I get there. It's like
It's already in you.
it's already in you.
It's already in you. Again, I talked to my dog, and I'm so glad we're referencing this because it's those subtle things that aren't seen as protection. Before I go to bed, I'm gonna make sure that the doors are locked.
Thanks.
I'm gonna make sure the front door and the back door is locked. I'm gonna flick a light on. Yo, y'all good? All right, cool. Ain't nothing in the way. So if things happen through the night, ain't nobody tripping over nothing to get nowhere. I'm always that way, calculated. And it's just in me. I ain't never seen nobody do that. I'm just saying, like, all right. I'm going to give a funny story. Even when it rains to this day and it's a storm outside, I'm sleeping with my shoes on.
Yeah, I remember
Nigga, I'm sleeping with my shoes on because the first thing I used to do in my mom's house, I don't know how I would react if a storm came through. First thing I would try to do before saving myself, my mama be deep sleep. I gotta go get mama.
Wake your ass up.
I can't do it with debris on my feet. I ain't finna be stepping on no nails. I ain't finna do none of that. So those are just natural ways. So when it's storm, I'm always, hey, y'all good? Y'all cool? Y'all gonna put y'all shoes on? They be like, no, that's on you. I said, all right. I can only grab one or two, nigga. The house almost, the house had, I was in high school. My mom was in the kitchen cooking. And sparks started coming out of the back of the stove.
Oh, wow.
Like in the kitchen. First thing I did, ran to my room, got all the clothes I like, and my PlayStation out, heading out the door.
You should have burned my PlayStation.
My mom went to the breaker.
Yeah.
And flipped the damn breaker. And she was like, boy, it's all right. She said, what the hell you doing? Get the fuck outside. Because, you know, you in school, you see all of the mornings where
folks got their house
Red
burned.
Cross house got burned. We got it.
Everything.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna just get a couple of clothes, man. And
my
I think
PlayStation.
Exactly. At that time, I was like, bro, it ain't about the things, man.
It's
you
not,
need to
bro.
just make sure. But it's just one of those things as protection. That I look at. I'm gonna go back to providing for a little bit. Back in the day, providing looked like financially, or sometimes that's what I take away from a lot of conversations that are online, right? Yep. But I also understand that providing is also emotional support, right? And I think the conversations are being missed in a sense of people don't know how to do that dance. They don't know how to do that dance. They don't have a rhythm when it comes to emotion because they're still reacting to their own emotions.
And a lot of times they're emotionally unavailable.
Because they can't eat. They're afraid of themselves.
Yeah.
That's still what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So at this point, at a drop of a hat, if I feel a certain kind of way, I'm gonna express myself. But I'm like, hey, if I'm a cry, I'm just gonna let it go. But please hang on to what I'm saying.
Thanks.
But I think a lot of people really don't understand that when you provide, we go through things as men to provide, but then also I gotta stop that too, and then also give you emotional support. I gotta give you all spiritual. I gotta meet you on those needs too, and it's all important. But I think the more you know yourself, and the more you're able to really effectively articulate yourself in the beginning of times, that's where I feel marriages that if I meet somebody that's married 25, 30, 40 years, they'll give you a journey. Not I was doing this, I was looking for that. No, they would like, man, I had to learn to love my partner. I had to learn my partner. Man. They were willing to dance with each other.
Ooh.
Not just, we can get
That's the one.
We can get boogie by ourselves, dog, but at the end of the day, who wants to dance alone?
Nobody.
So there's some compromising that has to go on. And I just want to make sure that, and I'm glad that there's a lot of pods going on now. I'm glad there's a lot of conversations that are being had to where kids, the next generation has enough information of men having effective conversations, women having effective conversations, women bossing up, men doing X, Y, Z. People are just really investing in themselves to where now they can pick and choose how to do things. And I think the key is going to be them finding consistency between whichever route you choose to go. Find your consistent. You say it all the time. Dance to your own beat of your drums, bro.
Come on, man. Yeah.
It ain't hard. Set your price, live your life, and dance to your own beat of your drum.
Come on, man. Spicy.
Very seldom have I been in a relationship where it just flowed naturally. In the beginning, it does, but when the going gets tough,
know,
when
and
the going get fucking
and you
tough.
can't get around that.
Yeah. Just
You have to learn how to coexist. And that's when you really learn who gonna thug it out with you or not.
Man, those people don't want those conversations because they have so many ways where they think that there's another way to restart this shit. Well, go on, restart it. Keep restarting. Keep restarting.
And be by yourself.
You stupid mother.
Buy you a goddamn dog or a cat.
Do the work, man.
Do the work.
Hey, man.
That's why people like situationships versus relationships.
Yeah.
Because situationships, there's not an obligation. You're not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
You only give a limited amount of yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I see you when I see you type shit.
Yeah.
A relationship, there's more responsibility. You are more so obligated to give more of yourself if you're really looking to grow with the person, especially if you're talking about doing life with a person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and I saw Nikki Giovanni, who's a famous poet, black writer, and she said that she mentioned that, you know, relationships are a responsibility.
Correct.
Sex is fun, but relationships is work.
Say it again. Sex
is fun.
Okay.
But relationships are work.
Okay.
Imagine this, right?
Let's go.
You take sex out of the equation from most people.
Yeah.
What will you have outside of that? I was about to say intimacy, but a lot of times it's not even intimacy.
They don't even get to that point.
It's just an act of sex.
Yeah. It's like, what's up? Sneaky link. Yeah.
Sneaky link.
All that shit turned
So you
into
take all that away, and what do you have? Like a situationship, if you take the sex away, you have two people that knew from the get-go that they weren't it for one another.
Absolutely.
You know, they're just going off the looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going off the thrill.
Absolutely.
And we're all guilty of that, myself included.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But the learning more of yourself, it's like, man, I'm tired of being outside. Like, I really want to grow with somebody.
Yeah.
I know I'm building on this certain thing, and I want somebody that I can thug it out with.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, though, shit won't come packaged how you see fit.
Of course.
A lot of the times, though, your first choice ain't your best choice, and your best choice won't always be your first choice.
Absolutely. Love the way you just said that. It is absolutely
what I'm
correct.
saying?
And what is that yin? What is that middle? What is that intersection to let you know that I know what you want, motherfucker?
Yeah.
But this shit here is better for you.
Hey, that goddamn fork in the road is that good feeling. Better listen to your intuition.
That fork in the road is you understanding that you ain't fucking got it all together.
Facts.
It's not settling. It's saying that I show up every day for myself, and this is the life that I've created for myself. Let me find someone of equal value that cares just as much of themselves outside of the physical shit. Because again, when you see something right, you gon', you know what I mean? But when you start to understand that things that I've accomplished and done over the years, it took time to get there.
Absolutely.
I'm not the same person I was. And that's why I tell people every time, those things that you aspire to have and things that you want to accomplish, you're not going to be the same person once you get to that level.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, everything is going to change and it's going to evolve, some for the good and for the better. Father time is real. But on top of that, it's what you feed yourself. It's when you enjoy life. You dig what I'm saying? So I think it's that fork in the road when people start to understand that, like, I ain't outside no more.
Yeah.
Let me come back inside, and anytime somebody come in and do whatever, let me make sure that it's of value. Because I know my value now. Let me make sure. And it takes those tough conversations. It takes them.
I think, especially with women, because Brittany Renner, God bless her.
I ain't mad at Shawty, dog.
I ain't mad at her either, but apparently she mad at herself and the choices that she's made in the past.
Okay.
There was a popular clip going around saying that she regrets sleeping with so many men because she did not know her value.
Okay.
Now she's afraid that because she has the reputation that she has, that she's going to be alone for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I beg to differ because as long as she continue to do the work, I've seen people step in
I'm
worst
just
case
mentioning
scenario.
what she mentioned about herself.
And I think that the power in what I feel she's saying is that she's being open and transparent about her right now. And she knows that when she look back on these videos and she continue to do the work, she'll understand why she did what she did at that time. And she'll no longer be that person.
Not even just talking about her though. Just in general. Why do you think it takes so many bad things to happen, man or woman? Why does it take so many bad things to happen before we be like, hey, let me sit myself down because apparently my way is getting me no way.
Yeah. But I'm not sure I have an answer to that, but the analogy I'll use is, why does it take us to go through 12 years of school to not have to use one thing in life? You get what I'm saying? So you're practicing. You're going through the emotions of understanding yourself, knowing yourself, learning how to communicate with yourself. But even if
you know the consequences of certain
you don't
actions,
know those things.
You beg to differ on some things. You know,
okay.
You know,
all right, keep living.
The consequence. There you go with the old folks. Here.
I don't give a damn why.
You know this nigga like 50. Hey.
Fuck you, but I get what you're saying, dog.
Bro, like you know certain consequences that come with certain shit, bro.
Man, we assume that they know. Can't hold you, dog. I give grace, and that's the reason for my response.
Okay,
I give grace.
I get the giving grace.
Yeah.
But even if you are in certain environments and you didn't see a thing, some people have to have something deep down inside that make them be like, I know I shouldn't be doing
this. You know who learns the lesson faster?
Who?
The person who's watching it.
Yeah.
Never the person who's going through it.
That's the greatest wisdom. The stuff that you can learn from the other person.
So it's always a motherfucker that's watching. That's damn that quote unquote judging the motherfucker, but they ain't never stepped a foot in their shoes a day in their life. They don't understand. I know strippers to this day that goes because of the consequences and the environment that they was raised in. They have to go this route just because all they know how to do is get money.
But do they have to go
that
route?
Nigga, right now, that's all they know. We grew up,
now,
our environment
they have made that their only option.
Because
the money looks good. But shit, now you got these motherfuckers that's bartenders making more than these strippers. You got the strippers coming out of the club, but behind the bar.
That's the new corporate 500.
So
that's the new corporate 500. It's no longer there, and they rolling it though. So I don't think that their mindset is any different than. Well, it is different, man. The world is just open now, bro. The world is just open.
Is the world too open?
I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. I'm only gonna eat what's on my plate, and I'm gonna start fixing my food at any time. When you're able to make your own plate, cook your own food, and control your feed, then we can have a conversation. Other than that, you're just gonna eat what people put on your plate because you know no different, dog. You know no different. Everybody's coming from a different environment, team.
Everybody is.
And they're responding different too.
Even though environments are different, a lot of environments are very much similar. Because you hear people say all the time, oh yeah, I'm from Compton, or I'm from this certain section in Harlem, or I'm from Oak Cliff, or I'm from Old Nat. These different neighborhoods, different environments, but similar shit happens in all of these areas.
It's life. Yeah, absolutely. That don't mean that they know it. Listen, dog. Listen, these people, you can probably name one or two things right now that you've been doing since you was a rooter to a goddamn tutor, dog.
For sure.
And you still do it to this day. Some shit that you know you probably shouldn't be fucking doing it. But the reason you ain't stopped because it ain't hurting nobody but you.
I can't say that I do that.
Well, unless you perfect now.
Nah,
so all I'm saying
that is far from the truth.
All I'm saying is that
I know I'm one thing for damn so. Kemar Kane is far from perfect, beloved.
So and that But
I get what you're saying. Yeah. In a way,
motherfuckers got to do better though. I ain't gonna hold you. Motherfuckers got to do better.
That's but I don't
want to expect me from somebody else that's going through a journey that they've been on.
They
and
have
I'm
to
not going.
arrive
They
on their
have to,
own
man.
time.
They have to, man. I've seen it happen too many times.
And that's when you make the choice to keep going in your direction without
Absolutely.
necessarily pulling or dragging somebody else behind you.
man.
Because then you're slowing yourself down.
Yeah.
They will get there on their own time.
On their own time.
This is where you learn the law of detachment.
There you go. There you go.
When you detach yourself from certain results, you'll get the results you probably desired plus some. You feel me? So that if you are attached to something, it's because you are anxious for a thing, you're worried about a thing, you're scared. So that's that anxious attachment or an attachment in general.
Yeah.
When you detach yourself from a thing or detach yourself from a result, you then open up the world of possibilities within a world of uncertainty.
Yeah. It's a lot of certain people don't know that they're attached to shit. Some people don't know that they're in fucking survival mode. People just don't know that they being people right now. Dog, I just know
some
that
people are existing versus
they
living.
are, man. But you know what? Some of those, the result of some people that are still lost is the reason why we care to become who we are today.
Nah, for real though. I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one.
Absolutely. So I know, like, all right, them niggas doing that shit. Certain friends I had to just pull back from because I could no longer do that.
Listen,
okay.
Right. Question.
Go.
We've all heard this saying growing up, right?
Turn it right there on that silver part, but that shit squeaked like a motherfucker. You hear me? The one that you just touched a second ago. Yeah, you have to redo it and reset it, but it's cool. Keep going.
But the saying that we've all heard growing up: when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Environment is everything, right? In a lot of cases, we have to become somewhat like the environment if we really seek to change it. We can't really go in balls to the wall and be like, oh, this is who I am, this is what I do. Cat's gonna look at you like a weirdo.
That's a lie.
That's another lie.
Jesus did it.
Jesus was outside with niggas,
but
Jesus flipped tables.
Did he take on the world?
He took on flesh, bro.
Okay. Yeah, but he took on flesh. But
Come on, man. Jesus took on flesh.
He didn't become
Jesus
flesh.
is God, right? If you really want to go there.
I'm not gonna do this. So he was outside.
Jesus was God, right?
He didn't become of the world.
God put on flesh.
He didn't become.
God became
of the world.
Dog. God
he
became
didn't become of the world.
Dog, can I finish my thought?
I'm shifting the conversation, y'all. This is share the conversation.
Dog, this cat brought it up.
All right, go ahead.
I will happily go there. Dog,
you got
God, it. Jesus put on the wrap of flesh. From spirit to human living being. Jesus died for those who believe that thing. Jesus died for us in our sins, right? Jesus was tempted by Satan, okay? Listen, I can give you all of this. Like, nah, like going on. Like, I'm Jesus. You know who I am, cuz? I'm God out here. I got on this flesh suit, but I'm still God, homie. Like, back up.
He had the Jesus
and Jesus, you know what I'm saying? The thong slippers.
Stop blasphemy, God.
Not at all, man. God knows what's up.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean? The disciples that's building the community. Come on, bro. Same thing.
But he was not partaking into what the world was doing.
I get that.
You can be in Rome and you don't have to. You learn the ways of the world. But was
he not doing what Romans do?
No,
though?
he was roaming through the world.
He was roaming through.
Not being of.
But there were evangelists and other prophets before Jesus, correct?
Okay.
Am I right?
But to say what? We're still talking
am I
about
correct?
Jesus.
No.
Hey. Your statement. Your statement you were trying to make is
when in Rome, do as Romans do.
And that doesn't mean that dog, I've been a lot of places.
Did Jesus have a place to live?
Speak to the people if you want to speak.
Did Jesus have a house?
Y'all can get in the comments and answer that.
Did Jesus have a house?
54 minutes and 30 seconds. Y'all can leave a comment.
Did Jesus have a crib?
I'm gonna let you
Jesus
finish.
was outside, bro.
Yeah, he was out, but he was not of the
And so-
world, though.
We can agree to disagree on that
I
point.
want to make the point that you were making, though.
Let's do that.
As far as
I'll speak on my experience in terms
absolutely,
of when
yeah.
Rome do as Romans do.
Yeah.
I know I was hanging around a certain amount of cats
Okay.
that were not completely different, but different enough.
Yeah.
They knew what kind of cat that I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we all just still gelled well, and we went out, club, whatever. And then I started to see, me continually hanging around these cats. Yeah. They started to rub off on me versus me rub off on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was outnumbered because my mindset was the one different from their mindset.
Absolutely, yeah.
So then that's when I had to distance myself, right? So that I can sharpen, my mindset back. You feel me? And I could get back to myself and distance myself enough until they recognize and maybe one of them was ready to come on their own time, as mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
To take time on when they were ready to arrive into themselves. It's like, oh, my life may have had an impact on one of their lives to make them want to change in that aspect. But what my point of what I'm saying when in Rome do as Romans do, what I'm truly saying is a lot of the times the environment will shift you before you shift the environment.
When you don't know that you're Roman in Rome. When you don't know that you're Roman in Rome is when the environment would get on you. When you don't know who you are, that's when your environment would get on you. But that's why kudos to the guy that told you, hey, Kane, you need to get away from here because this ain't about you. Right. So it took somebody of a little wisdom to be like, nah, bro, you gonna go over here. This life ain't about you. You go over there. So that's why you have certain people out there that will just keep you out of harm's way when we don't know where we're roaming. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you was about to unknowingly. You didn't have to learn those ways. You saw it. You sought after it. You didn't have to. You had an option.
But going back to in the beginning, where we talked about men expressing themselves a certain way. Mm-hmm. We think that that's how we're supposed to be.
How?
We think that we all are supposed to be this barbaric.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Show no feelings.
Yeah.
Kind of guy.
Yeah.
You now have the popular terms of an alpha or a beta man.
Okay.
Where alpha is like the supreme being, almighty guy. Mm-hmm. And the beta is more like the simp.
Got it. Okay.
But when we're younger, I was trying to run with certain cats.
Yeah.
Because I thought that that's how it was supposed to be.
Correct.
I smoked weed because that's what I thought it was how a men's experience was supposed to be.
Your exposure.
And not against, if you do your thing with tree, do your thing. Cut you a tree or two.
Tree.
I ain't tripping.
Tree.
I'm just saying the reason growing up middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And then learning about codeine and promethazine. Other guys was around me doing. I'm like, oh, that's what we supposed to do. Let me buy me a little, bottle of promethazine.
Wrong.
Go to the party. You know what I'm saying? I got my Sprite. I got my ice, a styrofoam cup, my Jolly Ranchers, my promethazine. Got
what
my cup.
What age was this?
Bro, this is anywhere from 13 to 16.
See? You don't even know who you are at this point.
That's a big fat.
But keep going.
Right?
Which is furthermore proving my point, but I like
not
the
really.
story.
It's not.
Keep going.
It's
Watch
really,
it.
It's
Watch
really
it.
not.
Ding, ding, ding. Keep going.
It's not.
Keep going.
But, and that's different when you don't know.
Yeah.
But when you know, you are in Rome doing as the Romans do. Anyway. From the promethazine and codeine to the weed to gangs, me being cool with two opposites and being stuck in the middle sometimes and sometimes having to choose, but then having those people be like, Kane, like, bro, I know what you on, but this ain't what you need to be on. Like that kind of thing, but even then, even though I didn't know, I knew that it was wrong nonetheless. You feel me?
But you knew in your heart you weren't there to harm nobody. You had genuine love for everybody.
I did, but I was willing to harm somebody just to say, just to get that validation from other guys.
Yeah.
Just like other men, even with today.
Yeah.
It's just like, tallying up the numbers on how many women you smashed.
Yeah.
It's an ego builder.
I think we all did that.
It's an ego builder, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I'll share you this. My upbringing was more so similar. Like when you were like, a lot of people from these different paths had a similar upbringing.
Yeah.
So we did. My response to it was, first off, I feared what my mom was going to do to me first off.
Yeah.
So I wasn't finna go home doing XYZ. Now, I probably had a friend or two that tested water with they folk, but for me, my mama had to fear God in me. So my mama kept me safe in all places. My mom told me one time, she said, listen, if you ever go to jail, I would not come and visit you. To this day, that has kept me free as free can be.
Hey man,
and that doesn't mean
the
that
mama threats be
I'm telling
different.
you, the mama threats are different. But what that meant was I didn't raise you that way, and you need to watch it.
And you know better.
What I'm saying? Yeah. So man, when I saw those and I had those friends, and no lie, dog, I really did start hanging out with them because I was inquisitive at the time. I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
I had the fear in my mind, but then I also was like, but ain't nobody gonna see me. These my friends. I want to be cool. 6th grade, my mama came up to my school like Bernie Mac said, who mama that is, and whooped my ass in front of the class and left me there to walk home with every fucking day. I'm like, damn, can you not take me home?
Ain't no check out, man.
Ain't no no, you gonna stay here and keep this F and
You gonna get this shame throughout the day.
But what she was trying to show me was that you're here cutting up with these kids and you're better than this. Years later, those kids just ain't did really shit with their life.
Facts.
And I started getting in corporate America, had to hire a few of them, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I see what my mama was saying.
So,
she was very stern at that time. And another one particular time when my buddies then was out smoking and I'm riding with them. But I knew right then, when they started lighting up their cars and doing XYZ, I got out the car. It was almost like the Boys in the Hood when that nigga was like, Trey was down for the ride.
Facts.
But when he knew what they was trying to do and he knew what his dad was at home, I'm like, no.
Baby out.
I knew from an early age I was doing this shit for my last name and not my first name. And I wanted to be alive the next day.
Come on, man.
My mom wanted to kiss me.
That's why I say, like, we don't know, but we know.
Exactly. And I think we are now those guys that when we see someone that's not from that world, we're like, hey, that's exactly why you're doing Brothers Help Brothers. It could be that one instance right there where that guy saved you from a world that you were not ready for. That's why you're doing what you're doing.
It's deeper than that, but I get you.
I know, but it's a pivotal point in that space where it is. You know what I mean? So but hey, can we quickly get to this post that you made on Facebook today?
Yeah.
And I know we touched on it a lot. It's been a great conversation, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Longer than I thought.
Yeah, and that's fine. This is what you will expect from Share the Conversation. We got content to cut up. Briefly, explain that post to you, that post that you made on Facebook today.
So it was just a point of,
because you said you had some stuff you had to get off your chest. Now I want to make sure you do that.
Just a point of feeling fed up with not knowing how to show up.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing, being fed up on not knowing how to show up a lot of times for myself, for my friends, for my family, for the women in my life, you know what I mean, for my career, these different things, bro. I'm fed up with not necessarily knowing how to show up. Although I am doing the work, this road, as I mentioned on the status, it gets lonely even if you are surrounded by people, right? It's tiring, but it's necessary. Goes back to the point of people being afraid to see a better version of themselves because the shit is work, bro. It's work in a relationship in general, but it's even more work in a relationship with yourself because you have to fight all of these habits that you've developed over the years And a lot of people try to get rid of these habits within months into a year, and they get, overwhelmed. And it's like, nah, it's going to take some time. And so I'm at that point where it's like, it's still taking time to get over certain habits. It's still taking some time for me to settle into my manhood. And that's something that a lot of men won't necessarily touch on either. For the longest time, I looked at myself as a little boy. You know what I mean? And I had posted also, I hope that little Trey is proud of Big Kane. Trey is my childhood name.
That's hard. Yeah.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
you've made the revisit.
Yeah,
That's a little, keep going.
It's important for me to check back with Lil Man, my past self, my younger self. You feel me? Because that little person that I was is really shaping and molding me into the man that I really need to be. Jonathan McReynolds has a song with Molly Music called Adulting. And at the end of that record, McReynolds mentions that, and it is a Bible verse, but he says that how Jesus said to come like a child that will one day save you, right? Come as a child. That's just like you got in one of the verses too.
That's hard.
Man. And it's in the book. If you believe in the Bible the way we do, it's in there.
Absolutely.
Like take that thing and embrace that thing. Like becoming childlike versus childish is a big thing. Childish and childlike is a big thing.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Hit him in the throat.
Yo. So it's like, let me learn to be more childlike and be more gentle with my childlike self.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, that kid that I saw myself as for so long, that I neglected for so long, that kid is going to be the one who saves my adult self.
Absolutely.
And as I learn to reparent myself,
I
can nurture and take better care of that inner child.
Absolutely.
And it's an ongoing cycle.
Yeah.
So it's like, being fed up on not knowing how to show up, you just grow numb because, again, you share certain things and a lot of people don't care, or they don't respond how you want them to respond, or they might not know the words to say. But even if we got to switch the perspective, at least I got it out.
Absolutely.
Because again, that holding shit in, it can make you physically sick or outwardly sick. Right?
What's your fear if people just don't, if they just don't get it? What's your fear if they don't get you?
Fear if they don't get me is that I don't feel seen, nor do I feel heard. And that's very important. You know what I mean? I need to feel seen and I need to feel heard.
Do you think that kid that you revisited felt seen and felt heard?
1,000%. I think within the past year or two, like Lil Trey is like, thank you. You know what I mean? Especially.
But back then, do you think he felt seen and felt heard?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
So yet now he still lives within.
Exactly.
And now your fear is that Lil Trey still continues to not be seen or heard. So, dog, I share that. I can be 1,000%. I share that. My 40th birthday, had a great party, and my family was there, and I knew the work that I had did coming into fatherhood and me changing my character and just kind of doing some inside work. And the way they pulled up, not knowing this is just me taking everything in, they still little brothered me, right? Felt unseen, felt unheard. And I watched how the conversation happened and just how we all interacted to where they were just like, boy, move out the way, blah, blah, blah. So many things happened to where I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And it took a couple of weeks before my older sister and I had a conversation. She was like, I didn't know you felt that way. But what I had to learn was that it was important that I did that work because that little boy still lived in me. Right. So now I'm confident enough to say that I know that that little boy grew up in an environment that he didn't select. It doesn't mean that I was raised wrong.
Right.
It was mean that I still had something to say, couldn't articulate it. That was the environment. But now the fact that some of my actions was because I didn't feel heard and seen. So now I make sure that what I see and what I hear, I allow other people to be seen and heard, but that can also share a conversation that hadn't been seen and heard, and I can pick up on it. And now we can share the conversation.
Yes.
I think now you've already released you've released that part of, because when I heard that, when I saw your message, I was like, okay, and I was like, but dog, you're doing so much work that I know you're present in, but your head is down working. It is my job in my position, just like the guy that saw you like, Kane, you don't need to be over here. When I see posts like that, I'm like, dog, don't you worry about that part. You're doing way more than enough that's going to impact this world than people that see or seeing that they're doing more work. You're planting those seeds, that those trees in the shade that you'll never sit under, but the work that you're doing, I need you to stay focused on that. And that's why I offered that partner too. But it's good to hear the context into why you feel that little Trey won't be seen or heard, and trust and believe that you're making enough trees and shade for the other little Treys to be heard, dog.
And yeah, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
1000%. It's just, and the work is being done. The work is there. I'm self-aware. The biggest thing, I guess I could sum up and say, that this shit is tiring. Like you can do all the work in the world, right? But I think sometimes it's important to take a break from self-development.
Let it go, dog. I love it. Let it go.
I think
go,
that
dog.
it
Go
is
as deep as you want to
important.
go.
I think that because I'm such a social scientist and I want to learn everything dealing with humans, I've kind of bombarded myself with so much information and given myself so many different assignments to work on myself that I kind of forgot that I need to go out this bitch and live a little bit.
Talk your shit, dog. Go ahead.
So that's why
Keep
it's like,
going.
hey, let me get numb. Let me not care just a little bit. Let me not share so much. And I know Lil Trey will appreciate me having a little more fun,
Yeah.
doing a little more ratchet shit with my friends.
Talk your shit. Yeah, dog.
You feel me?
Yeah,
because
man.
the shit is tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a lifetime ahead of me
There you go.
to continue
There
to
you
be
go. There you go.
the best person that I can be.
There you go.
But it is okay to have little pockets or windows.
Yeah.
Do ratchet shit with my friends.
Y'all better tap into this
Yo,
shit. Y'all
it just it's
yeah.
like, do not. I went down this rabbit hole, man. Gotta get better every day, every day, every day, every day. Gotta get like in giving grace, give yourself grace to make mistakes, or give yourself grace to be free from a work or the work.
Yeah.
Give yourself that grace, dog.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
Absolutely.
I've been very self-aware within myself, definitely within the past 2 years. But I've been doing this self-awareness work for the past 5 or 6.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2023, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a chiller.
I'm a chiller. I'm a chill a little bit.
You feel me?
2023.
So I'm a care less. I'm a share less. If I seem nonchalant or that I don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
I probably don't.
Dog, I'm not the one to say I grant you that space, but as your friend and as a pivotal person in your life, I grant you that space. But I'll grant you that space with making sure I keep eyes on you. Right?
Yeah,
because
definitely hold me accountable.
Because
I ain't gonna be out here doing no stupid shit.
And he's not, right? But
because I got real friends in my life.
Absolutely. And therefore, it's so important to say,
yeah,
I'm fucking tired. Are you confident in the work that you've done?
I'm so confident in the work that I've done that I can allow myself to be tired.
Absolutely, dog.
That's how confident I am in my work.
Disconnect to reconnect. And I know you're a guy of you're self-aware. You ain't gonna be out here doing shit stupid. If it's gonna make sure that you are a better person, by all means, disconnect, dog.
1000%, dog.
By all means, disconnect.
And that's how you end the motherfucking conversation.
That's how you end the conversation. That's how you pause the conversation, because we'll never end this one, dog. I'm proud of you. I know this last segment, this last piece with you doing that, even hearing it is important to someone that feels the same way. You're going to be a father one day. So it's going to be important that you know how to dance with yourself and know when to come off the brakes. So you've done a lot of great work. You've prepped a lot. It's mentally exhausting, right?
Very much.
Take care of yourself, as you always do. You got a good circle of people around you.
Yes,
we ain't going to let you go too far. But when you come back, I already know you're going to put the work in, dog. Again, I'm proud of you. And as men, brothers help brothers, share the conversation. Kemar Kane, Sam Clifton, dog.
Goodie.
This is how men should share a conversation.
Spicy.
Love you, dog.
Peace and blessings, bro. Love, nigga.
And y'all take care, man. Find you somebody to share a conversation with. Leave comments below, and we'll talk about something next time. Y'all take care. Peace.